Dan, what in the heck was that?
I
What
don't know.
was that?
What was that? That is a great
It
question.
was 2025, just blowing right past us.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm ready for it to be over. Get out of here.
Are you?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I had a good 2025, I think. I don't know. I don't in my opinion, that's just me. Of all of the holidays, of all of the things to celebrate, probably the one that means the least to me is New Year. Yeah, it's just not for me.
I, on the other hand, am the complete opposite
Are
because
you?
New Year's Eve is also my anniversary. So
Oh, wow.
there's all kinds of reasons to celebrate. 13 reasons to celebrate this year. 13 years.
Thir Wow, Dan, look at
Yeah,
you. You're on your
I
way,
know.
man.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think back, my college years, my wild and crazy years, and geez, just New Year's Eve, the parties and New Year's Day, it just did nothing for me. I enjoyed the bowl games and the Rose Bowl parade, but
Yep.
that was about it. Yeah. It just seems like an arbitrary day.
Are you more of a look back and reflect kind of guy or a look forward and, look at what's coming in the new year?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can't even answer that. It just seems like an arbitrary date.
It's just
I
another
guess it's good psychologically for people, to draw a line and to start, but I don't know. Just for me, it's meaningless.
you're not the new year, new me type of person.
No, I kind of like me. I'm not I'm not the greatest, I'm not the worst. I try to do good and do good for others, but I can only do what I can. And professionally, that's delivering a world-class firewood heating solution.
There you go. Yeah. And now
Yeah.
you've got a whole year. Well, wait, you've got a couple days left in the year when you can start using that phrase, the I'll see you next year or I'll get to that next year. I'll do that next year. I'm shut down for the
Yeah,
year.
I'm not doing anything for the rest of the year. I'm
Right.
done.
I'm done for the
Uh-huh.
year.
Yeah, those are always good jokes, like wood jokes in firewood. Those get
Yes.
old after a while.
Yep.
Can't you think of something better?
I calculated out this morning that I have enough money to survive without working the rest of the year.
Uh-huh. I have enough Dr. Pepper to get me through the year. There we
There
go.
you go.
Uh-huh. But you may notice, Dan, that I am talking into this microphone today from a different area of the house because I have put myself into a bunker because everyone here is sick. Knock
Oh
wood,
no,
except me. Yeah.
that's not good.
Yeah, there's the funk. The funk is going around this town. Everyone's sick, and maybe that's one of the benefits about working outside. I don't know. When I used to have that office job, I was sick all the time. I would imagine that the couple of people that sat around me just hated me because all the coughing and hacking
Well,
and
they were
all.
the ones getting you sick, so they were like happy to see they passed it on to you, probably.
Yeah. I had suspected that there was, I called this mythical person a carrier that was in the office because every year I would get this same type of sinus infection that I had never got before until I started working there. And it was just awful. Every year, like right around the holidays, it was like clockwork. Terrible. And then when I left that place, I didn't get it anymore. Yeah,
Huh.
you still get colds and stuff, but nothing like that.
Yeah, working
Yeah.
working in a office setting or having children in school, that is the number one way to get sick, I think,
Uh-huh.
because the kids bring
Yeah.
it home
It's
or you get it from someone.
it's not a school, it's a germ exchange facility. It's a petri dish.
Yep.
When I was a softball coach, that was one of my refrains when a girl, would drop the ball or something. I'd say, you couldn't catch a You couldn't catch the flu in a preschool, I would say to him.
Oh,
Yeah,
yep.
boy. There was some germs I had there. I stopped. I was on a delivery. I was early, so I just stopped to get me a candy bar. It was going to involve stacking, and it was like late in the morning, and I was in between meals, and I just wanted to get me some energy. So I stopped, and I would normally pay with a credit card, but I had some cash on me. So I bought this candy bar. It was an Almond Joy. Love those things. And I gave the lady my money, and right in front of me, she licked her fingers and, counted the change back to me.
And
And
dropped it in your
otherwise,
hand.
yeah, and otherwise mundane action. But over the years, I've become sorta quasi germ phobic, and the whole world just came to a grinding stop, and all I could see was her, licking her fingers and then touching the money and handing it to me. Oh my gosh, that was awful. I just I ran out. I have like my hand sanitizer in the door of my truck. I was like, oh my gosh, got to get out here and get this.
I was just going to ask if you had any sanitizer in the truck because you get back in your truck, you kind of just make a habit of always kind of cleaning their hands off from touching everything.
Yeah.
And
Oh my. You remember the old days when they used to pump gas at the gas stations, and the attendant would have that thing on his belt and would click change to give you your change back when you would pay for your gas. I need one of those things that just has hand sanitizer in it.
auto dispensing, it's right there. Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah, immediately handy. And yeah, she literally licked her fingers and then, touched my money and handed it to me. And it's, oh gosh, this is terrible. I had so this is back where I was telling you before, where there was this carrier in the office. In 2012 and 2013, I had pneumonia in back-to-back years. And I didn't have to go to the hospital. But that was, the word sick. That was the word sick that I had never experienced before. It was not like just having a bad cold. It was awful. And that changed the way I see it. It made me a little queasy about, germs and catching that. It's funny how we're just so totally illogical. We all worry about all these things that could happen, like an airplane falling on your house, or a bump in the middle of the night. But it's the things that you can't see, these microscopic things that'll get you, man. And ever since that, though, 2 years of having back-to-back pneumonia, oh my gosh, it like even changed my voice because I coughed so much. And that's where I was saying, these people at work probably just hated it when they saw me come in the morning.
So, goals for 2026: remain free of illness, continue to
Pay
have
credit,
germ
yeah.
phobia.
Pay credit at the gas station. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't change with don't change with cash. Oh yeah, that was bad. I used to run a cash register too. And you're going to think that I'm making this up, and I swear to you I'm not. Okay? I was running the cash register, and this guy comes in. It's summertime. He's wearing a tank top, and he had one arm. And he comes
I think
up,
you've told this story
he
before.
I did.
I
Oh
think I
yeah.
know where this is going, but
He
keep going. I think I've heard this.
he had one arm and he's wearing a tank top, and he was chewing tobacco, and he had tobacco running down his face. So he lays his item on the counter, and then he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out cash, and he lays his cash on the counter, and then he wipes all of the tobacco juice off of his face, and then he continues counting the cash to me. Oh my
Oh.
gosh, that was the longest 30 seconds of my life. Yeah. And then I still remember like picking the bills up. I mean, I was obnoxious, but I was grossed out. I'm picking the bills up by just like this little microscopic corner of the bill. And oh man, as soon as he left, I just ran to the bathroom. I about took a shower in the sink. It was terrible.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's those little things will get
That
you.
was not a good year.
No, jeez.
Uh-huh. I couldn't wait for the new year that year. Get that out of my head.
Jeez, I guess so.
Yeah.
So any
But
big
Dan, what about
go
well,
ahead.
I was just going to say, what about the new year? And
Yeah,
what about the old year? Are there any things that stand out to you, Dan?
not really. Like I said, I'm not I'm more of a like planning looking forward into the new year. Like it's
Uh-huh.
hard for I don't know, maybe just because I have a bad memory, but it's hard for me to like remember like highlights or things from the past year. I mean, obviously there's a few things that happen, like events that I went to, and but otherwise, I don't know. I like thinking more of what's coming, what's ahead of us.
Uh-huh. Yeah. The International Firewood Expo 2026.
There you go. That's on the
Yeah.
docket. That's one thing.
There's one
Yeah.
of them. There's one of them. Yeah. So, what changed though? You had some big changes up there, didn't you? You with your furnace, the
Yeah.
your small firewood business. You had a
Yep.
lot of positive things happen to you.
Yeah, there was some pretty good growth in the small wood department. Ended up with a new boiler, outdoor wood boiler, and so
Uh-huh.
yeah, there was some highlights and things to look back on and be appreciative of. And but I don't know. I just like I said, I'm more of planning forward. What do I need to
Uh-huh.
do? I think there's going to be a lot of changes coming in 2026 around the whole social media world. If we want to just step
Oh, you
away
do?
from firewood a little bit, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I think there's going to be changes.
Like what?
Uh
Like
I
what?
just see, and this might be
It's
just
just
from
this
my
AI thing.
the AI thing is having a big impact, and I think what it used to be, like when I started, it's changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's just not as appealing of a venture as it used to be.
Uh-huh.
Not trying to foreshadow
There
that
was
I'm changing too much up, but I might just be changing the way
yeah.
I use social media.
Oh, wow. There was what I had felt was a fundamental change a couple years back with the TikTok thing and these short videos, vertical filmed,
Yep.
and the contrast between long form horizontal film. And I had thought, that was going to be the end to long form, but it's still sticking around. And it's not just firewood, there's just about every niche out there. Of course, there's a bunch of shorter videos, but the long form's still there. It's got staying power, don't you think?
It does, but it's I think shrinking. that's that's where I think that tide is changing. And I mean, I think in the past year we've seen how subscriber or follower count no longer really matters. I think that's going to
Yeah.
be a growing trend. And just the whole idea of, 3 years ago, it used to be if you wanted to know how to do something or you wanted information on something, you would go to YouTube. Everyone would go to YouTube, type it in, how do I do XYZ? Now
Yeah.
they go to Chat GPT or they go to Gemini or they go to Copilot. They type it in and they get AI to bring all the information together and serve it to them. So
Uh-huh.
that's where I think
So
long form's hurting.
I yeah, I think though I'm thinking of myself. Why would I go to YouTube? Like if I need to fix something on my car, you know, my daughter's old car I had to replace the battery and it was tricky because it was like buried up underneath the dashboard. And I remember looking for videos on it. And the problem is, um, the people that do these videos, I mean, let's just be real. They're doing it to get the views, they're getting to get the watch time, to get their monetization up. But it's a slog to power through some of these videos to get to the meat and potato portion of it, you
Right.
know? Uh-huh. So that is kind of frustrating. And there are times where it is easier just to go to Google or your search engine of choice and type in, how do I put a battery in this car? And you usually get, at the top of a Google search anymore, you get that AI bullet point stuff, and it's pretty good.
And then if you take what you just said there and you amplify the fact that people's attention spans have just shrunk down to, a few seconds. So they don't have the desire to sit through long form videos to get to that meat and potatoes. They want the information they want right now. And then
Yeah.
they want to scroll to the next thing and scroll to the next thing.
Uh-huh. It's an age thing, don't you think? A generational thing? Like the younger crowd are more into the TikTok videos, the short stuff, short
Yep.
and sweet with a, humor to it, or crassness, or a meme mentality.
But I think it's moving into the older generation as well. I think that's where the
Uh-huh.
trend is going. And you just have the fact that there's so much more content out there because of that. There's
Yeah,
channels
there
putting
is.
out 20, 30, 40, 100 shorts a day, all AI
Right.
generated.
Yeah. Well, I can say, when, like, before I go to bed at night, I'll open Instagram, and I'm not a big fan of Instagram as a content creator, because it just seems like there's really nothing in it for you, other than maybe helping steer people towards other social media platforms, you know? But when I just go down through my feed, I find it very entertaining. It's funny. There are
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of funny
Yeah.
and creative people out there, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good time.
They call that doom scrolling, where you will sit and just scroll and continue to scroll because you are engaged and you are entertained. It's
Uh-huh.
I'll sit down on the couch and I'll say, "All right, I have an hour and a half. Maybe I'll watch a movie." And then I think to myself, I really don't want to commit to sitting here for 90 minutes watching a movie. So I open my phone and I start scrolling through TikTok, and I'm 2 hours later still sitting on the couch.
Yeah. And then in the old days, it was sitting watching Little House on the Prairie,
Yeah. Yep.
for a whole hour of TV with commercials. And now you're just sitting there zipping through your phone. Yeah, that's just the way things have changed, everything's different, Dan.
I know.
But you can still see your Little House on the Prairie reruns, though.
Right. But I'm looking at, like, from my perspective of, like, growing. I used to be focused on growing my social media presence. Now I think I have to switch to using my social media presence to grow my mini firewood business more.
Uh-huh.
So that's a change I'm looking at
Yeah,
for 2026.
I think, now, I don't have my finger on the pulse of other niches. Is that a word? Niche-I.
Niches
Niches.
get
Plural,
stitches.
pl- plurals of niches. I don't have my finger on other niches, Dan, but it seems like you probably couldn't find a firewood YouTuber that wouldn't say, views are down. Views are down a lot, views are way down. And maybe it's ran its course, or maybe it's because there's a lot more out there now, or maybe it's just these algorithms that you hear about make it harder to find. But there could, if you are serious about your presence and monetizing and making your money, maybe it's like one of these things, like, if the fish ain't biting, you got to change your bait.
Right. Or go to a different spot on the lake.
Ooh.
Move the boat. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, maybe that will be the big thing for 2026. I guess in the world of social media and firewood on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok, um, There could be some foundational change coming.
I think there is. But to switch gears, now let me ask you, and if we go to firewood strictly related topics here, what do you see coming in
Uh-huh.
2026? I know last year, one thing that took me by surprise was the hoppers. I didn't think the big hopper wagons were going to be a big deal or a deal at all,
Uh-huh.
but they exploded onto the scene. So, what do you predict is coming to the firewood industry
Yeah.
2026?
So, um, I think that you're going to start seeing a an emerging market of these smaller. I'm not going to use the word entry level, but smaller, more cost friendly processors and log splitters. That are just as productive but are more efficient and cheaper. I think you're
Yeah.
going to start seeing more of that. I see, these. You do have like these smaller processors that are out there already. The Dyna 12, the Timberwolf LP, the Range Roads, the other Chinese processors that are out there. But there is, when you look at firewood, there's the commercial side of it where the places get bigger and need bigger, more productive machines. But there is still the simple guy or gal with a pulling and a pickup, but they could use a machine because A, they are fun to have, but two, you cannot deny that they are getting the job done. So that is what I think. You're going to start seeing smaller, cheaper, but just as productive machinery. That's what I'm going to say.
So, like a homeowner's processor type of machine, smaller
Yeah.
machines that will do the whole processing of log form into split firewood.
Yeah. Well, that is the term I was mentioning. I call it home production, kind of like what
Yes.
we said the timber ox log splitter is. The price puts it kind of like above an I-beam splitter, but below a professional grade splitter. But it is still productive enough that if a person wants to make money with it, I think you got to take a look at it. And the same thing goes for that market with your splitters, your processors, all of the supporting equipment, grapples and hoppers and whatever. That's what I see.
I
To me, it's a market that is not being addressed. Is not.
I think so as well. I agree. I think a lot of the guys that got into firewood, I mean, if you think about it, if you want to continue growing, selling more and more, you have to be able to produce more and more. And in doing that, you realize if you can get a machine that will cut back on the amount of labor you have to put in, I mean,
Yeah.
that's if you did 20 chords this year and you want to do 40 chords next year, and you think about, all right, does that mean I have to do twice as much work, or do I look at a machine like a smaller processor to increase that production and do less physical work?
Yeah. Well, I experienced that myself. And, I joke with people, this touching the firewood and the this and the that. But when I got serious about commercial production, my first processor was the Dyna 12. And that was because it was the only one I could afford. And I wasn't that knowledgeable of the whole industry out there, but I saw it and it had everything that I needed. However, it didn't have an adjustable knife, and using a four-way was wasteful because you couldn't hit the log in the center. So I would split everything in half, Dan, and then I would run it onto my super splitter and split it down to value added firewood and throw it into my trailer. So it would take me all day to make one cord. Okay. So that is what a person would say, well, you're touching the firewood too much. But my point would be, though, it's still making me money to split this wood down with my super splitter because it's worth a heck of a lot more than it was when it was just split in half coming off the dyno. So I had concluded that it's just too much to make firewood. So I traded it in on a more appropriate machine that would make the size firewood that I want from the get-go.
Yep.
You with me?
Yep.
So now I could make a cord of firewood in under an hour. which used to take me all day. Okay. So when you talk about touching the firewood, what are you talking about? You're being about more efficient, because now I'm still getting the small firewood that I want, but I'm making it faster, which doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to make more of it. It just means I might get more time to hang out inside and relax, but that is what we're talking about, with when I think of this, I think of a guy or a gal that goes out and buys a bundler, a wrapper, and they either want to split down firewood that they bought, or they want to make their own, and you want to get the right machine that will give you the wood that you're trying to get.
Yes. And then I think a lot of people have that mindset of, if I did 10 cores this year, I want to increase next. I don't think a lot of people, or I don't know, maybe I'm wrong in thinking that most people in firewood who sell firewood look at their year-end totals and say, I want to add to that. I'm not sure how many say, all right, I'm going to decrease.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people do that, maybe some, but in that ongoing chase of increasing production, that's where I think some of these processors become very attractive.
Well, not just increasing production, but I would be one of the ones out there that say, I want to make less next year. I don't want to make this much firewood. I want to raise my prices. If I could double my price again and make half as much firewood, I'm game. I'll do it. So machinery out there can take you in that direction if you get
Oh,
the right
yeah.
machine.
See, that's another thing that I think gets lost in the whole mix and conversation is a lot of people focus on number of chords, not number of
Yeah.
dollars they
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
How many chords do you make, or how many dollars do you make?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just what makes the firewood industry so interesting, though.
Yes.
It's kind of like it's professional, but it's not. It's volume, but it's not.
It's fun, but it's not.
It's
I mean, what? No.
it's fun if you're a chiropractor. You're make more money like that if you got some firewooders in your area.
Oh,
Yep.
Yep. It's definitely an interesting industry, to say the least.
Yeah. But there's only one way for sure, Dan, to know what 2026 brings. And you know what that is?
What's that?
Next year, we can do this same episode on New Year's Eve and talk about what happened.
Oh, yeah, we should do. Yeah, maybe we should actually do that. We do an episode last year predicting this year?
Oh, yeah.
Did we?
I don't know. Let's change the subject. We could have said that.
Let's go back to the archives and see what
Yeah.
we predicted for 2025 and did it come true?
Well, I will make a prediction for 2026.
Oh.
Firewood will not be banned by the government.
You will sell all the firewood you have.
Yeah.
Before the end of the year.
You will. Well, you really went off on a limb there, Dan. Yeah. Yeah. Even if firewood was banned, you'd still sell it all. Jeez.
Yep.
Firewood will not be banned, and you will sell every stick of firewood that you make.
There you go.
Prove me wrong. Yeah. Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. 2026.
Yeah.
I like it. Well,
all right, Dan.
Speaking of ending the year, should we?
Yeah.
We gotta do one last striking up of the band for 2025.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should thank the band for just being on call for every episode this year. All we have to do is just say the magic words and bam, there they are.
The band has been very dedicated. They have been here every week when we need them.
And they are professional band members. They're not hobbyists.
Very true. They are very professional.
I was going to say that we all know that nothing ever good comes from a hobbyist.
Oh, you want to get another jingle in before The end of the year,
Yes.
I see. Okay. Will 2026 be the year we reveal the story behind the word of the day? I'm not
Yeah.
going to say it again.
Uh,
But
I will predict no, but you never know.
oh, but in thanking the band, we should also thank all of you Woodhounds out there and fans and followers and listeners of the podcast. It's been a
Yeah.
great year putting out these episodes. We hope you've enjoyed them. Um,
Uh-huh.
you know, thank you. Here's to
Yeah.
2026.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and helping us become the #1 firewood podcast in the world. So, Dan, how about we do strike up the band?
All right. Here you go, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Happy New Year.
2025. Have a happy new
Yeah.
year. Remember, the most important thing when ending the year to take with you is your common sense.
Yes. And again, thank you for helping us be and maintain our status as the #1 firewood podcast in the world. And Dan, let's tell everyone out there to have a happy
New year.
and don't do anything
Crazy.
because we're all getting older. And please have
A great day.